For this step of the portrait project, we're going to be talking about different color schemes that you can use in your final portraits, and then practicing mixing these colors and practice creating value change with each of them as well. But there's three main color schemes we're going to talk about. There are many others besides these three that are out there, so feel free to use other types of color schemes. Just make sure to get it approved first if you decide to go that route. But the three that we're going to look at is warm and cool colors, complementary, and then analogous color schemes. Looking at the color wheel here, there are the three main primary colors that you're going to start out with in your art kit. So you're going to be practicing mixing those three colors to create the rest. But the main three are yellow, red, and blue. So the reason why you only have those colors in your art kit is because you can use those colors to mix the secondary colors, which is the orange here. If you mix yellow and red, you'll get that orange. And then red and blue mixed together for purple, and blue and yellow for green. So you'll practice mixing those before we start moving into the different color schemes. But the first color scheme that we're going to look at is complementary, and they're actually labeled on this color wheel as well. But complementary colors are just across from each other on the color wheel. And these colors work really well with each other because they complement or contrast each other. So yellow and purple are both across from each other on the color wheel. And when you use those two colors together, it's going to make something stand out. And then the rest are the green and red, and then orange and blue. So here's another example again. So we have the two across from each other here, and then the blue and orange, and red and green. There's a few artwork with these complementary color schemes used and incorporated. So you have the blue of the glasses that really pops against that orange tone in the background. And then same thing, you have the orange now in the foreground that really pops out against the blue backgrounds. The two complementary colors here is purple and yellow. So you have purple as that main color in the sky, and then the yellow on the house really stands out against it. And same with this photo, you have the yellow and purple colors, and sometimes complementary colors and different color schemes are just naturally occurring in nature, which is cool to see. But you have the yellow and the purple that really stand out there as well. And then that brings us to analogous colors, which is the second color scheme. Analogous colors are 2 to 3 colors next to each other on the color wheel. So next to red, you have your orange tones, and then yellow and green tones, purple and blue. But again, it could be any that are next to each other. Since these colors are next to each other on the color wheel, that means that they blend well together and just overall work well and unify projects and assignments that incorporate analogous. So this definitely looks very unified. It feels together and cohesive, where you have a lot of areas of yellow and then orange and red. And those are all next to each other on the color wheel. And then same thing, you have some blues and greens. There's even some purple in there that are all next to each other on the color wheel. And it just feels very calming, peaceful, and unified. And then here's another one with blues and greens, which brings us to the last color scheme, warm and cool colors. This last color scheme incorporates all of the colors on the color wheel for the most part, but you're pretty much just dividing those colors in half. So using one half in the background and one half in the foreground. Your warm colors are mainly going to be colors found in a sunset. So oranges, yellows, reds, anything that feels like a warmer tone. And then the cool colors have a cooler feeling tone, and they're usually colors that are going to be found in areas like water. So you have lots of blues and then some greens and purples. Here's a painting example with warm and cool colors. So you have the warm colors on the left half and the cool tones on the right half. And it just makes both of those kind of pop and feel unified. And then same thing here, you have that green and the red warmer colors down at the bottom that really make the water stand out. And then lastly, this is an example of the warm and cool colors separated by the foreground and background. So the foreground is the bird that has all of the cool tones, cool colors, and then the background has all of the red colors. So move on to the next video to begin practicing blending, mixing your colors, and then creating value change using these color schemes.